I was saying last video that I am tired of Elden Ring, but I'm still on my first playthrough. I'm still trying to fit my starry themed or moon aesthetic sorcerer build I'm committing myself to, and that's the thing. I don't want to quit or put this game down because I put so many hours into it, and I feel like one of the major themes about Elden Ring or Soulsborne type games is just not to quit just because something is difficult. It's meant to be sweaty, but I was thinking about something too because after I finish this game, I'm going to play either Skyrim or Baldur's Gate 3 again. I was thinking to myself that you know, a lot of our problems started or was at least amplified because of video games. I'm not saying video games are bad or anything, but I'm just it's kind of coincidence that I didn't have angry outbursts until I started playing ranked online games. I'm gonna be for real. Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Dota, Overwatch, the frustrations I went through in those games started normalizing or making me comfortable having angry outbursts. And I'm gonna be the first to say it. I started building prejudice against certain people. And everyone acts like they don't got a racist bone in their body until they hop in an online game. Next thing you know, you start hearing certain words you never heard before. You know what I'm saying? And I spoke about this in several videos. In Dota 2, for example, I'm sure whatever you guys play, whatever games you guys play, you can think of this exact scenario. But this is in a different region, right? For you guys, whatever. In Dota 2, in ranked matches, every time there is somebody from Peru in the game, I wouldn't say every time, okay? 90% of the time, someone from Peru joins the match. They either throw the game and act toxic, but they'll speak in Spanish, even though they have a Peru server. And, they have South American servers to queue in, to play games in. But they queue in the US server, and see, I'm sounding crazy already. You see, I'm already sounding crazy. I'm sounding like I got an issue with other races. No, I'm just saying. If you have a server in Peru where you could play with fellow Peruvians and other people from South America, and you have South American servers, it's odd to me to queue in the United States server and only speak Spanish when the rest of the players on the server don't speak Spanish. And in a game, for anyone who play League of Legends or MOBA games, or even for any competitive game, you need to talk with your team, right? You need to communicate with your team if you want to win the game, okay? Imagine you hop in a game and nobody speaks the same language as you, okay? So I'm just puzzled. And again, in a game where we have to play as a team and I have no idea what you're saying. I failed Spanish 4 times in high school, bro. Bro, the same for me, okay? And then I don't know what you're saying. Then you throw the game and you start feeding, you start giving other people kills and stuff. How am I supposed to feel, You raging in Spanish or you're giving instructions in Spanish, bro, I don't know what you're saying. And respectfully, why are you playing on the US server? You guys have like 10 servers in South America. There's a lot of players from South America, so don't make the excuse, whenever we queue from South American servers, nobody's playing. That's cap. That's a lie. That's a lie. Don't pull that. You know what I'm saying? But see, now I'm sounding racist. I feel like it enables behavior like this. So sometimes I've seen people do this with Chinese players, Russian players. If you play in the United States West server in Dota, I wouldn't say it's the same situation as the Peru situation, but a lot of the players will come from China and they won't speak any English. That's just the thing. And it's interesting because, I talk about I didn't grow up that way. I never had any issues or any feelings in real life towards Peruvians. I never had issues with Chinese or Russian people. Yet now, since I started playing online games, now something happening here. You know what I'm saying? And look, anger issues, prejudice, behavior. Also, certain games, right? Let's not talk about online games. We'll skip that because I could keep going about that. I feel like guilds and other Discord groups and clans and all that stuff, that also starts, weird behavioral issues that you pick up and then it starts reflecting in real life. But let's talk about single player games, right? I mentioned Skyrim. That game also started some issues with me. Maybe some of you guys can't relate to this. Skyrim was the first game that made me start detaching from reality. What do I mean by that? When I would play Skyrim, I would immerse myself so much into the game. I forgot I was alive. I felt like I entered a time hole or something. All of a sudden, I'm playing this game. I'm playing Skyrim. It's 1 p.m. All of a sudden, it's 7 p.m. Oops. I would immerse myself so much in the game. I'm so locked into my character and who I am in this game and what's going on. I just forget I'm on a computer or something gaming. And with Skyrim mods, romancing, and other things, Certain games implement or have mods that implement romance systems, right? This creates another issue where, like, I wouldn't say you attach to a character. You might, but what happens is it sets a wrong foundation for what real life relationships and even friendships are like. It's very easy to role play or play a game where your romantic situation is always in your favor and your taste. You know what I'm saying? Or you have ultimate control over it because it's your game and your mods, you added to it. All this stuff. You get a bit delusional. And even though you might not be, even though, let's say you are able to separate fantasy from reality, right? Like, you know, it's a game, but you're still locked in, right? But you understand this is not real life. It still lingers in your subconscious, especially if you're inexperienced with relationships. You know, you don't know what a, you just don't have the experience like that, but you have a lot of experience romancing in an online game, or like, I wouldn't say online, but like a video game, right? But that's not, it reprograms your brain, especially if you lock in or you enter these time holes I'm talking about, or you're so like immersed into a game. And that kind of leads to the last thing I want to mention, because this video could be 30 minutes. In certain games, you are essentially God. Even if you set limitations to your character, even if your character is limited, you are still God in a sense. It's your game. You have full control over it. You can mod it, you can do this and that. But when you're back in reality, your self-esteem is shot. I know people, and I've seen people throughout the many years of gaming, even just on the internet in general, where they're super good or they're high ranked in a video game and have all the collectibles and stuff like this. They got all the achievements and everything, whatever, right? And it gets to their head. They're in such high regard and confidence in a fake virtual world that when it comes to real life, suddenly they're shy. Suddenly their confidence is gone. No self-esteem. They don't have skill sets that, it's cool. You nice in that game, but it's cool that you could click really fast and have high precision to move your mouse. Okay. But that's cool. So that makes you confident in the game because you know that you're good. But now, like in real life, it's just looking a little bit shady. But you know what happens though? You know why this happens? A lot of video games, especially when you're successful in them, they will boost your self-esteem. Of course, right? You're doing good in a video. Of course, you winning matches. Of course. But we forget that this power fantasy we have in games like Skyrim or other games, right? Online or not. We take that as like a dopamine rush over an escape from the real life situations we have over time. This leads to procrastination, missed opportunities, poor mental health. And this is why people, when they close Discord, or they get off the computer and they're not on the internet anymore, the place where they're so confident and they feel so good about themselves or whatever, right? Because you can be as cute as your anime avatar apparently, but in real life you're looking crazy. And they enter the real world, none of that same person is reflected. I think it causes avoidance behaviors. Why deal with real life issues when I can escape into a virtual world I created or have some power in, My life is pretty rough right now. I don't have power like that in real life. So it's nice to be in a game. It's nice to just chill on Discord where, that's where I feel accepted. Again, I'm not saying video games are bad. I'm not saying they're terrible things. I'm not saying the internet is a terrible place too. But like when we dive very deep into this, where we make it a major part of our lives, and we keep detaching from reality because we lock in too much or immerse ourselves into like an online persona or like what's going on inside of a video game, the character that you made, it causes fallout in real, no pun intended, it causes fallout in real life. Anxiety issues, anger issues, low social confidence, neglected health, depression because life ain't like Skyrim or Dungeons and Dragons where you're a hero or some important person or, again, you get avoidance issues. You feel me? Not all players or gamers get to this point. But it happens to a lot of them. Happens to me too. Sometimes I still get it. I was saying I was playing Pokemon Legends ZA recently, right? And sometimes I get so locked into the game, like I forgot to take care of certain things. And it's like it's things I have to take care of. It's procrastination. Things I got to take care of that I know I got to take care of. But this is more fun. This is more fun because I'm so locked in. I'm succeeding here, and this dopamine rushes in this game and stuff. It's like anyway. It's what happens when you game too much, okay? You really gotta lock in real life. Anyway, what do you guys think? This episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. I'm out.